This company wants you to return to the workplace, so finding a way to work around it may work against you. So here are 3 red flags I want you to watch out for so you don't actually end up getting fired. After all, the idea is to keep your job and enjoy working the way you like to work, not to accidentally lose your job. So the first thing is IP address red flags. If you're accessing company systems remotely while your badge has been swiped at the office, i.e. using the social engineering technique, your employer might notice an IP address discrepancy. This is a big red flag. Use a VPN service to route your home IP through the office's network if you can. This way you can avoid it. That way it looks like you're accessing it anywhere and everywhere from the office itself. And of course, a pro tip is to also coordinate with your badge buddy, the person that's swiping for you, to avoid logging in while they're swiping in for you. Overall, it really depends on your company and how diligent they are at this and if they're thinking about cracking down in some way on people not returning. But something to bear in mind is this IP address loophole. Second thing to watch out for, the big risk, is security cameras and checkpoints. After all, lots of offices have security cameras at entrances and common areas. And if your badge logs you in, but the cameras don't show your face, that might raise some questions. So be aware of camera locations and make sure you at least show your face once a day. Walk through visible areas on your way to the exit, even if you don't plan on staying. The idea is that you've got to show some presence. You can't only have someone swiping at you all the time, because there's probably going to be a point where you're going to get caught up. So here's another pro tip. Wave at the receptionist or security staff occasionally. It's all about building a believable presence. And if you're a friendly person and they know that you come in, they're going to know that you're there more often than you actually are. And the third risk you need to watch out for are unexpected in-person requirements. This one's really tricky. If there's an unexpected meeting or event and you're working from home, that day without a legitimate reason, it could look suspicious. So stay in tune with the office schedule and have a few believable excuses ready for sudden absences. After all, we've all had that ad hoc meeting that's been called out of the blue and they expect you to be there in 5 minutes because you're just down the hall, when in fact you're an hour away because you're working from home. That's not going to work. So this is one of the biggest risks I would say you've got to bear in mind. So have an idea of what your office schedule is like. And a pro tip from me is if you're really caught off guard, a quick "I'm on a client call" outside the office can buy you some time to figure out your next move. Of course, this depends on the role that you actually have. You know, if you're a developer like I am, are you going to be on a client call? I'm not really sure. So you've got to think about some good excuses to make sure that if you are caught out, you are ready to reply with something that's believable and it will get you out on that one occasion. But of course, I think the biggest risk of this one, don't get caught out too many times because that will raise red flags. So to wrap it up, my idea is that you want to play it smart and stay flexible. Coffee badging is all about finding the perfect balance between maintaining your autonomy and fulfilling your workplace obligations. After all, we want to work from home not because we don't want to do our work, but we feel more comfortable and more productive there. So as long as you keep meeting your workplace obligations and you're an excellent member of the team, chances are it's all going to be fine. But remember, it's a game of cat and mouse. Play it smart, stay flexible, and also know when to call it quits. If your particular company is really cracking down, is it worth losing your job over something like this technique? Or perhaps it isn't going to fit for you anymore, so you've got to find a new workplace that has hybrid working or more flexible work from home setups. So take this into consideration, think about what's best for you. And hey, if you get caught, at least you'll have an epic story to tell, just maybe not to your next employer. Of course, have any coffee badging tips or stories that you want to share with us? Share them in the comments and let's keep this game going. Can't wait to speak to you later. Hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.